And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to why is that screen all wonky? And there. Whoa, well, that was odd. Thought everything switched. Good morning. Good morning, all. How are we doing on this Monday, January 5th? Welcome back to the office. For those that have decided to take some time off, welcome to the new year. All right, let's get in, right? Like, what's the vibe this morning? You know, what are you feeling? I mean, you're technically back at work, but doesn't really feel like a fresh start, does it? If we look at these last few weeks, the holidays are over, that big adrenaline rush is just gone. The inbox can be quiet, and that can feel super uncomfortable. It's just you and your business and us. It's just us again. There's no crazy urgency. There's no, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess no built-in or no shipping deadlines. I guess like no, this needs to be done today and out. There's no excuses to stay in that constant active. I gotta be busy because we got stuff that needs to go out. It's just a little breathing. I mean, space feels weird, huh? At least to me, it feels weird when we've been running on chaos and coffee for the last few weeks. So, how are you feeling today? That's what we're gonna talk about today. What it is to be back at work. Now, it's your first time here or a long time here, and you knew who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area. And then your five things. What are five things that you are going to accomplish today? We've got the retro vibe Celsius. I was gonna make a New Year's resolutions to kind of lay off the energy drinks. I lied to myself. I'm like, no, whatever. I have one, two a day. I might go to some mix-ins instead of some cans. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm not a big resolution guy because what do I need to wait for the whole year for a new year to start something? Just do it, right? Uh, as far as our five things, we've got a lot to do today. We were technically closed since last Wednesday afternoon. And so, even though I try to stay on top of emails, messages, comments, hey, it was just me, and we got to catch up on those things. So those will be priority. If you emailed in with anything, that's priority today. So getting that stuff cut up. We got orders to pull. If you're not on our email list, you missed out. I've said this from the beginning. You're on our email list. There'll be special things that go out. We did send out a code over the holiday weekend that started on New Year's Day and went through yesterday, and a good amount of people took advantage of that. So kudos to you people for opening your emails. And hey, we've got orders to pack that need to go out, and quite a few of them. So that's number two. Number three is we're getting things set up for tomorrow. If you did not know, tomorrow, Tuesday with Todd, we are dropping new colors. New colors. And if you don't mind, I'd like to show you those now, and then we can talk a little bit about them, a little more about them tomorrow night. These are our premium. I can make sure the flashlight will come on, so that way it's a little easier to see our premium stones. 16 facetors coming in tomorrow night. So we're getting everything squared away for them. So you can see, ooh, you can see, and we're gonna do what's the thing that's coming up? Valentine's Day design. So we'll do a Valentine's Day design on them, but you'll be able to see all the colors. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about what's next. Man, that Sapphire Royale looks amazing on it. And then what do we have? The citrine. The citrine always sparkles so good. Oh, that bright citrine is amazing on it. And one more. So we've got a total of 8 new colors that are dropping tomorrow night, Tuesday with Todd. Make sure to tune in right here, same bet channel, 7 p.m. We'll drop those limited quantities, super limited quantities. There's probably only about 40 bags of each of them because as we bring things in, test out, that's what we're going to do. So, that getting that wrapped up is our three, and then we have 2 meetings. So, busy day for us here. Busy day. Well, let's check in. Linda, good morning to you. 55 in Texas. Iced tea in the cup. 5 things: invoicing, edit photos, 3D print, post photos, send off photos to editor. Very, very nice. And Rustling, good morning to you. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. Connie, good morning. Linda never left. I know, neither did I, right? I didn't take any time off. I worked straight through that holiday. I worked, New Year's Eve night, Wednesday night. I was working on things because it's not holiday across the way, so we're going back and forth on some stuff. Um, New Year's Day worked. There's You ever have one of those deals that you really can't talk about until you can talk about it till it's there? We did a little horse trading, and now we need to find out the logistics of it. And so we might be trading product for product, product for. We've got something fun on the way, and it's near and dear to our heart. We've been involved with it for quite a while, so it's an opportunity too good to pass up. So I'll keep you guys informed on that. So that was taken care of on New Year's Day. Uh, Friday, we were in the office. We pulled orders, we shipped orders, we printed orders. I just got an email this morning from somebody that said, "Hey, I was just making sure that you got this last Wednesday because they did it before they left for the holiday weekend." And I said, "Yeah, the team got it out on Friday, and you'll have it today." And they're like, "Oh, wow, I didn't expect that. I just didn't want it to fall there." So I was like, "Yep, you got it. It's in shipping, or it's in transit. And they'll have it today." So they were really excited about that. So we worked through that. Ordered up some new equipment to help us on, just on the packaging side of things. So we've got that. And then we just, kept powering through. Worked on listings this weekend, worked on other things. If you missed out on the Wizard in your 29.99 credits, hey, we put it out there. We really did our best to make sure that everybody knew that, hey, if you signed up that first month, you're gonna make out like a bandit because it was gonna be like a net zero after everything was said and done. And a lot of you took you up on that. Some of you missed out on it. So hey, now there's no credits, but it is still 29.99 through the end of this month. So make sure that you have that. And then what other stuff did we work on? We there was something. Corey worked on a few stoning projects, so that way we can show off some stones on that. And then we had the end of year, beginning of the year sickness roll through, or a couple, where Krista started feeling like crap, running a temperature. I'm like, stay away. And I think for the most part, we survived. So that was our holiday. Ringing the new year. As I get older, I realize, man, these people that celebrated at like 8 o'clock and just call it good. That's not too shabby. I'm good with that. I think I was in bed by like 1 o'clock on New Year's Day. But I finished that up, put stuff away. Huh. And now we still have this last day of winter break for the kids. They go back to school tomorrow. So yeah. Oh, we delivered jobs on Friday. That was the other thing. We went and met superintendent. They have an event today for their in-service, and so we met with them on Friday, got everything squared away, set up for them, and they're good to go. So yeah, it's been it was just normal days, just normal days in there. Jeff, good morning, 37 there in sunny-ish. I'll take that. No drink yet. 5 things: pack orders, 3D print new part, order part for newly printed 3D Dremel toy. Oh, what's that? Laser and clean. Jeff's got a busy day. I got Hudson picked, by Carrie. He got some color change filament. I don't know. Showed up. What have we got here? Some silk. Black, gray, red, yellow. I don't know. We got some silk. We're gonna try that out and see how we're gonna see how that is. We got a couple things to run, and yeah, well, that's my day with it. Good morning, Jerry. Barb, good morning from North Southern Minnesota. 22 and foggy. Water in the cup. 5 things. Quotes. DTF. Graphic design approvals. Patch digitizing. Paid 2025 fourth quarter sales tax. The thing I love about paying sales taxes, I mean, I hate paying sales tax, but when you pay sales tax, you know what that means? It means you have business. So it's not a bad thing. George, good morning to you, my friend. Hi, Linda, Connie, Jeff, and George from Barb. Jerry, we're just trying to stay busy. We're trying to stay busy with everything that we're doing. We got a lot going on. Like I said, 2026, we want to introduce some new products. And the big part of it is bringing in more premium colors. We also talked to suppliers about bringing in some other product lines that they might carry, maybe some different variations of the bling sheets, maybe some different crystallized items that they have. So that was a lot of Thursday, Friday was just communication in and through there, and then through the nights, and that's it. So looking at that, Wizards on, so we'll keep rolling with that. Putting out. Oh, we have artwork. New artwork is dropping too. That started dropping last week, so you'll see that. You're going to see things for Valentine's Day, Black History Month, Mardi Gras, and St. Patrick's Day all coming up. So pay attention to those and we'll get it. So yeah. We've been rocking and rolling all the way through it. And morning bar blended Jerry in an alternate dimension. Jerry's somewhere else, right? Oh, Jerry's probably on this view. That's where she's at. Set up my new two 3D printers yesterday. Yeah, Linda, I can't wait to hear about that. Tim, good morning to you. Jeff said, customer asked to bevel the edge of acrylic labels. Cheapest machine I could find was $1,000, so I printed one for $1. What are they doing? Wouldn't you like in my head, like, can you just run a router to it and it would bevel it that way? What are you doing? What do you got there? Renee, good morning from sunny Chicagoland. Water in the bottle, tea in the mug, work on the top five. Mark decided we need a new modem, and now the internet keeps going out. Yes. I love when that happens. And we won't talk about yesterday. Congratulations, Tim, for winning, but still being a loser on the season. I mean, we're playoff bound. We can. I was talking to Renee last night. You know, we lost. We're on a 2-game slide going in the playoffs, but both those very winnable games with our typical, last minute madness. And we didn't do that these times. So we're saving them for the playoffs. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm looking at. We're saving them for the playoffs. Hi, Linda, Connie, Jeff, Barb, George, and Tim. Hi, Renee from Barb. Hi, Tim from Barb. Keith checking in there from the sunny Space Coast in Florida. And Jeff says, I don't want to put them face down to prevent scratches. It holds the Dremel vertical and I can push them through. Oh, look at you, Jeff. I would have just thought of, so if you're printing them, did them all first and then set them in because I'm sure you build a jig, right? You cut them all out and just throw them back in there. So, no. Now I'm picking up what you're putting down, sir. Okay. What do you say we get into it? We're not going to pretend like today's January 1st. It's the first day back, and it's some magical reset button. It's about just dealing with what happens after that long busy season ends, especially if you don't feel rested or you don't feel motivated. You don't want to push hard, but you don't want to waste away. The beginning of the year either. That stuck in between feeling like that's what today is exactly about. Yeah, that's familiar. So we're going to kind of walk through some you know of those reasons that why that first work day just often feels off. Why it doesn't mean anything is wrong with you or your business, and how you can really just move forward without forcing anything. No pressure, no hype, none of that new year, new me BS, right? Just ways to handle all this without wrecking your momentum, or more importantly, your sanity with it. So, number one, this post-holiday crash, it's normal, right? It's not motivation plan or motivational problem, all right? That flat, you know, unexcited. I should feel more ready for this. You know, feeling that some of you may have today. And it's not laziness, and it's not any lack of discipline. It's just coming down from weeks of urgency and problem solving and customer communication and the pressure of getting things produced and out the door. You know, December really did train your brain to respond to constant input. And when January hits, it's almost like that input is removed overnight. Of course it's going to feel quieter. Of course it's going to feel a little strange. And of course the motivation didn't just magically reset when the calendar changed. you know a lot of makers will misinterpret this crash as like a personal failure. They assume that something must be wrong with them because they're not super excited to jump right back into it. But motivation doesn't just show up on demand. It rebuilds after rest, after clarity, and a sense of direction. None of those things just happen instantly. What you're feeling right now, it's just recalibration, not necessarily shut down. If you don't normalize this phase, you'll try to fix it by, forcing action, committing too early, or creating urgency that doesn't really actually exist yet. And then what happens when you try and do that? Well, burnout sneaks its way back in. Yeah, sneaks its way back in, just wearing, the costume of productivity. So some examples of this is a decorator felt guilty for not wanting to design or market during the first week back, until she realized that she was just simply decompressing from that 6 week sprint of last year. Another home-based printer, tried launching something immediately after the holidays, burn out fast, and later wished that he'd given himself at least 1 week just to quietly reset. So I'm feeling this today. Just say this out loud. This feeling is just a transition. It's not failure. All right. Now, ooh, you know, as we go into two, wanting to structure again, it doesn't mean that you're just ready to start grinding. All right. There are moments after the holidays where you crave structure, routines, schedules, normal hours. That doesn't mean that, you are ready for that hammer just to start pounding down. Right? Wanting to structure, it's about safety, not ambition. It's your brain saying, hey, I need something familiar again, not I'm ready to go full steam. Let's go. This distinction matters more than you realize. The mistakes happens when, you know, some of the makers start confusing structure with pressure. You don't need these big, huge goals or big outputs to feel grounded again. Just need to get back in your rhythm. You know, get back in that predictability of the business. The simple wins remind you that you can show up without exhausting yourself. That structure can be gentle. It can be light. It can exist without demanding more than what you have right now. So January is not the time to recreate that December energy. It's really the time to rebuild, stability, so that your future momentum actually sticks around instead of collapsing in on itself. So examples of this, is a maker set, a consistent start and stop times before setting up any goals, and felt more productive without doing more work. Another business owner focused only on inbox cleanup today, and organization for a week, and felt their confidence return naturally. So they just broke it down. I'm going to make sure this is cleared out today, and we're going to go on this thing. It was just that action step of just choosing one small daily anchor this week. Start at the same time, or on the same task, and ignore everything else. So we're just going to do this till it's done and move on from there. So that way we don't have to, go all into it. Oh, do we? I see. Yeah. Why do we get all the fun ones? I love it. 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 I love it when we get those for it. I see. I see. I see. I see. I see him in there. Now let's look and see where we have for that. Ooh, what's that one calling there? I don't know. We're gonna send that one there. Okay. Now, number three. You know, the fear isn't doing nothing. The fear is losing momentum. And I mean, that's the real anxiety under the surface, it is there, and most people don't name it. You're afraid that you slow down too much, that you'll lose everything that you built. That customers will forget you, that motivation won't come back, that you'll waste all of January and regret it later. The fear is what pushes people, into rush decisions that don't, protect anything. Momentum, it just doesn't disappear because you paused. Momentum disappears when you break trust with yourself by forcing movement that you're just not ready for. What actually keeps momentum alive is that clarity, the confidence, and the capacity that of yourself. Not that being in constant motion. Right now, speed isn't the goal. Direction is, and direction comes from reflection, not from panic. January doesn't have to be about staying busy. It's about deciding, where you're actually going. So some examples of this is a maker, paused to review what sold best instead of launching immediately, and felt far more confident when they realized what they needed to do moving forward. Another one realized that their fear wasn't about sales at all. It was really about losing identity once the holiday rush ended. So, for this action step, write this sentence honestly. What I'm afraid of losing right now is blank. All right. Well, before we get into 4 and 5, let's check back in with the comments and see what we got in here. Let's see. Let's see. Jared Payton said this morning that we need to convince the team to always. What did I tell you yesterday? I don't even pay attention to the game till the final 3 minutes. It's kind of been how it's been going all year. Just come to the chat to say go Lions. Oh, Debbie Waukesha, good morning to you, Debbie. We got friends up in Waukesha. Where they going vacation? Yeah, I think so. Renee, we can use that. We can use that. 5 things. Website update, new bank account, press orders, get meta certified, make training videos. What are you doing for meta certification? I get the thing in the email. It says do this and this, but on some of it was like, oh, you need a team this big to be able to do it, and I didn't really look any more into it. Uh, be hyped for 2026. Like there's a lot of things going on, but at the same time, we've got ones that think, oh, I need to have this. They see all the gurus of you need to be this and you need to plan this and you need to have this scheduled out. You need to do this. And then you feel like a failure because they don't have any of it ready to go, on that first day back. And that's what we're trying to say is you don't have to be that way. Tim, I'm working on keychain lens for Tint Guy. Ordered DTF for Video Guy shirts. Got a full afternoon of tint and hope to pick up the DTF. Then my daughter has hot shots tonight at the varsity game. Tim's got a busy day. If the Bears continue playing, they've been during the majority of the game. We won't last long, but I'll take it. I know, I'll take it. We're way better than last year, right? Reevaluating business goals and plan for 2026 for me. Love it, love it, love it. It is. It's the best they've looked in years, at least. Since 2008, I would say. Back then, when we looked so good starting off the Super Bowl and they still lost it. Peyton Manning, but just saying. True story, Jeff. True story. I've got plenty of positive thoughts. I just want to make sure that everybody, doesn't have to feel the pressure of it because she's in a different chat, Jerry. Jerry, I think we have this discussion at least once a month with you. We are in let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're broadcasting to 6 different locations. So I can see everybody's chat, but you can only see their chat if you're on this screen, and you can see their screen over here. That's or you're in the one that they're in. Right? Right. That's what I'm saying with. Uh, that's what we're doing. Yeah, they're all here the whole time. Yep, everybody there. It's where they're at. She's in vertical room on another channel because if we do the vertical side of it, then we've got like 9 that we're in for it. I'm just going to do the thing to get the blue check. Oh, okay. Verification on it. So I don't have to worry about only posting 2 links per month. I was on the wait list, now approved. Woohoo, very nice, very nice. She doesn't know where she is. We'll find her. I think she is. Yep, she is. I have to be done by 2 because track practice starts that time of year, right? I didn't think it was though. I didn't think we just started ours. Is it the informal stuff? Because I think ours doesn't start until February, end of February, early March. Steve. Yeah, what Jerry said it was. It was. All right. Now back into it. Back into it. Uh, Indoor. That makes sense, Jeff. Why did I not think about that? Why did I think about that? Number 4, January it's about reentry, not reinvention. You You don't need a reinvention. You don't need a rebrand. You don't need a dramatic pivot just because it's January. A lot of makers, you just don't need a fresh start. They just need that reentry, a way to step back into their business without it, without blowing it up or overwhelming themselves. Excuse me. Reentry, it looks like, closing those loose ends, finishing what was half done, letting your brain, catch up to your body. It looks like reconnecting with your business as it actually is, not the version you think that it should be. When you treat January as that, soft reentry instead of, a performance month, what you're doing? You're building, the sustainability instead of the resentment. And this is how businesses last by, respecting the transitions from season to season instead of just ignoring them. So some examples of this is a shop owner used January to refine pricing and policies instead of chasing new offers. Perfect time to do it. New year, let's look and see, is our pricing good? Our policies need to be changed. It's perfect time to update those little things. Let's go back and do it. You know, Another one improved just one existing product instead of adding something new, and it felt lighter. A lot of times we can just add something to what we're already doing to a project we already have, don't bring a whole lot of new work in for us, but it drastically adds to the product. So, as we're looking at things today and you're looking at your heap of your desk of what is all this and what do I got to do for those that, don't make sure they have a clear desk at the end of every day. Just look at it and look, what is one unfinished thing that's still here from last year that I just want to close out and be done with. All right. Now, number 5, you know, you are allowed to start the year without proving anything. You don't owe anyone, you know, productivity to justify your business. You don't owe social media proof that you're back. You don't owe, customers urgency, before, they've asked for it. You don't owe anyone, a big announcement just because the calendar flipped. Starting this year grounded, it's a strength, not a weakness. Confidence doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it just looks, a quiet ownership. Knowing that you're building something real and refusing to panic just because the pace has changed. That's maturity. And this is how long-term businesses are built. Not by sprinting every month, by knowing when to slow down without quitting. And some examples of this is a maker chose not to post the first few days back and returned clear and more confident. Another one, resisted discounting in January, protected her pricing and energy. So for this, you can just finish the sentence honestly. This year, I want to work from blank, not pressure. All right. So to recap all of this, let's bring this, back to work reality check home here. This, that post holiday crash is normal. It's your systems, decompressing, not failing. Structure helps, but pressure doesn't. Rebuild rebuild rhythm before rebuilding goals. The fear of the fear isn't slowing down; it's losing momentum, and panic does not protect your momentum. For January's reentry, not reinvention. Close up any of those loose ends before creating new ones. And 5, you do not have to prove anything on day one. Grounded is always the best way to start. So if today feels weird or quiet or unmotivated, doesn't mean you're behind. It means that you've just walked out of one season and haven't fully stepped into the next one yet. That space in between isn't failure. That's really where clarity comes from. You know, you don't need to rush this week. You don't need to force productivity. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to re-enter your business honestly and respect for you and what you have built and what you just went through. It's not wasting the year. We're starting grounding, and that really matters way more than momentum ever will. Now, That's what we have for you today. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about doing less in 2026 with ChatGPT 5.2 because they didn't know a few weeks back they released the new version 5.2. So we're going to talk about how to make your business easier, going into 2026 with ChatGPT. We can run that smarter, a smart old pair of business. Just by seeing what we can do for us. So that's what we're going to talk about on Wednesday's show. Now, let's see what we have in here. Yeah, it doesn't start until March, all indoors. Yeah, that's what I don't know if we have indoor. We didn't have indoor when I was younger, and I don't know. That's something I could go with. Jerry's just all over the place. They do. They have wait lists for all kinds of things. Like we've got I don't know. I bet we get like 4 or 5 emails a week from them, like, "Here, in this program, this plan, do this." Even on the professional dashboard of, "Here, you can qualify for this, you can do for that." I think there's still like 2 or 3 things that we're not qualified for, and, like, some of those, it's you need to have, like, 10 10 reels that need to hit 1,000,000 views each in a month before it qualifies for that one. So there's a lot that goes on there. So it's just really just like there's 500 versions of Facebook, and all of ours look different. Jeff left me breadcrumbs. Janessa, hey, good morning to you, Janessa. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna get in out of here. I got some I got some messages I need to clear up and look at, and then we need to get the next thing, and then we got orders here. Mentorship community, your call starts in 26 minutes, and we'll get that rocking and rolling for you. So Wednesday, we'll talk to ChatGPT tomorrow. Tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow night, you want to be here. You want to be here because we're going to launch those. We'll get you the names, we'll get you the product numbers, we'll get you everything in there. We're going to show design off with that. We'll show them on screen a little better. You'll see all that. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Because man, I'm super excited about some of these colors like that. Oh, that rose petal pink. That's what we're talking about. So tune in tomorrow night because that way we'll be here for this. Until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Peace, love, press on, and we will see you then.